Kobe Bryant, Mamba Mentality, Legacy. In a city of stars, some shine. He burned. A teenager who asked for the last shot and lived with the airballs. A rival who became a brother. A wound that became a weapon. A muse that became a mantra. They called it the Mamba Mentality. Relentless, ruthless, refined. This is not a highlight reel. This is the anatomy of obsession, of how a boy from Philly, raised under Italian skies, carved his legend in purple and gold. He chased ghosts until some started chasing him. When fear says stop, focus says go. When doubt grows loud, the grind says no. Kobe Bean Bryant was born on August 23, 1978, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His middle name, Bean, was a nod to his father, Joe "Jelly Bean" Bryant, a 6'9" forward who played in the NBA and overseas. When Kobe was 6, the family moved to Italy. Cobblestone alleys, small gyms, soccer on Saturdays, pasta on Sundays. A kid translating life through sport. He learned footwork from futsal and patience from language. Nights he'd watch grainy tapes of Magic and Mike. Days he'd wear out the paint in tiny Italian gyms, perfecting pivots while the world stayed blissfully unaware. Returning to the US, he attended Lower Merion High School outside Philadelphia. The gym became a cathedral. The boy became a storm. State titles, national headlines. He studied the pros like a test he planned to ace. Colleges called. He called the league straight from high school to the draft. Selected 13th by the Charlotte Hornets and traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. A teenager in a grown man's city. A new chapter in an old franchise built on banners and expectation. Greatness rarely walks through an open door. It picks the lock. Kobe started on the bench. He fought minutes with audacity. He hunted shots like oxygen. Some went in. History remembers one night the most. 1997 playoffs, Game 5, Salt Lake City. A rookie on the road, facing a veteran Jazz team. Overtime, 4 shots, 4 airballs. The arena roared. The season ended. A kid, head up, walked off into a tunnel of noise. Later, he explained that his legs were gone from the high altitude, that the shots were there, but the strength wasn't. But here's the part that matters more. He didn't hide. He didn't flinch. He asked for the tape. Next day, the weight room, the gym, the resolve. If the rim refuses, refine your aim. If the night rejects you, rewire your game. For Turning Point, Becoming Black Mamba, every hero builds an alter ego. After public and private storms in the early 2000s, Kobe named his the Black Mamba. Inspired by a code, precision, poise, lethal intent, he separated the chaos from the craft. The court became a sanctuary. process became a promise. Years later, he'd write, "Mamba Mentality is all about focusing on the process and trusting in the hard work when it matters most." That wasn't branding, it was a blueprint, a Mamba era, sharpened edges already carved by ambition. Earlier, with Shaquille O'Neal, he tasted champagne, 3 straight titles from 2000 to 2002. Now, he wanted something purer, mastery. Not just to win, to become something that couldn't be denied. 2000, 2001, 2002. Three-peat with Shaq, Lob, Dunk, Dynasty. January 2006. 81 points against the Toronto Raptors. The second highest scoring night in NBA history. Not a heat check, a laboratory fire. December 2005. 62 points in 3 quarters against Dallas, outscoring the entire Mavericks team through 36 minutes. He sat the 4th. That's a different kind of flex. 2008, League MVP. A season of orchestration, not just incineration. 2008 Olympics, the Redeem Team. Gold. A 4th quarter takeover versus Spain, where he set the tone and closed the book. 2009 and 2010. Back-to-back championships without Shaq, this time with Pau Gasol as a partner in precision. In 2010, a Game 7 war against the Boston Celtics. Shots missed, rebounds grabbed, grit graded. He chased the peak till breath ran thin, then found a higher ridge within. Legends are complicated. In 2003, Kobe was arrested in Colorado on a charge of sexual assault. The criminal case was dropped in 2004 when the accuser chose not to testify. Bryant publicly apologized for the pain she experienced and acknowledged that she did not view the encounter as consensual. A civil case was settled in 2005. The episode remains part of the conversation around his life and legacy. On the court, critics called him a ball hog. Teammates called him demanding. The feud with Shaq split a locker room and a league. Egos as big as their talent. Both right and both wrong in different ways. Years later, they reconciled. 2 alphas with scars and rings, sharing laughter on a late-night set. Growth looks like that sometimes. Less thunder, more weathered sky. He didn't invent hard work, but he branded it with clarity. From the Mamba Mentality 2018. Mamba Mentality is all about focusing on the process and trusting in the hard work when it matters most. On pressure, everything negative, pressure, challenges, is all an opportunity for me to rise. A line he repeated across interviews, a thesis for 1,000 mornings. On identity, early in his career, when the comparisons cracked, he clarified, "I don't want to be the next Michael Jordan. I only want to be Kobe Bryant." On endurance, a line he lived more than he spoke. Rest at the end, not in the middle. Quotes are light, but practice is flame. He spoke in lines. He lived in games. He studied opponents like finals. Allen Iverson, the Blur, who once dropped 41 on the Lakers in the 2001 finals, forced Kobe to become a better shadow. Tim Duncan and the Spurs, discipline versus will, shaped a generation of Western Conference chess. The Phoenix Suns' pace and space pushed him to new contortions. The Sacramento Kings, the Boston Celtics, their colors, a provocation. Their crowds, a dare. His fiercest rivalry was a mirror. He spoke often about being a student of Jordan, then a rival, then a friend. The footwork, the fadeaway, the angles, they traded in the same currency. But Kobe minted his own coins. He danced with doubt and outpaced schemes, turned scouts' reports to broken dreams. Mamba was mental, but it was also communal. He mentored rising stars, Kyrie, Tatum, Giannis, Sabrina Ionescu, players who speak of early morning sessions in a quiet facility where respect arrived before sunrise. He launched Granity Studios, told stories for the next generation, and won an Academy Award in 2018 for Dear Basketball, a poem he wrote to the game that raised him. He and Vanessa Bryant focused on youth sports and opportunities for girls and boys, building programs that stretched from gym floors to life skills. The Mamba Sports Academy, later renamed in his honor, became shorthand for doing hard things with joy. He made discipline feel like romance, preparation feel like poetry. In a culture that loves shortcuts, he sold schedules, not secrets. January 26, 2020. A helicopter crash in Calabasas, California, took 9 lives. Among them, Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna. News moved faster than breath. A city stopped. Jerseys surfaced. Flowers multiplied. Candles traced the shape of grief. Outside the arena, he made a second home. Across the NBA that week, teams opened games by taking 24-second violations and 8-second backcourt violations, numbers becoming eulogies. On February 24th, 2020, the memorial at Staples Center, 224, for Gianna's 2 and Kobe's 24, stitched memory to meaning. Michael Jordan cried and joked about becoming the crying meme again. Vanessa Bryant spoke with grace that bent the room into reverence. Murals bloomed globally, from Manila to Milan, from Philly to Porto Alegre. A world that argued about him for decades agreed for once. Something rare had passed. The clock ran out. The horn was long, but echoes kept a steady song. April 13, 2016. His final game. Age had taken speed. Pain had taken residence. The Jazz came to town. The ball stayed in his hands. Misses at first, then muscle memory. By the end, 60 points, an impossible number made inevitable by will. Teammates watched, opponents smiled. A city stood, stayed, and swayed to the old rhythm. Then the mic. breath. 2 words that turned into a bell that won't stop ringing. Mamba out. That wasn't a goodbye. It was a handoff to you. Wake up earlier. Focus deeper. Love what you do until it loves you back. Let discipline be your compass and curiosity your map. When fear says stop, let purpose say go. When the room is dark, let your habits glow. And remember the line he left for anyone chasing a summit. Mamba Mentality is all about focusing on the process and trusting in the hard work when it matters most.